So yeah, an Orthodox Christian confronted Cliffe once again, and I swear this happens every couple months. It's a regular occurrence at this point, and this time the Orthodox Christian asked Cliffe about the biblical canon, what books belong in the Bible, what books do not. And he was specifically talking about the deuterocanonical books. And Cliffe was not having it, he lost his temper a little bit, and many people are a little upset by that, especially in the Catholic and Orthodox communities. But before I talk about it, I think it's first fair to show the clip. So here's the clip for context if you have not seen it.
Save us.
So
tell us what the real Bible is. Tell us.
I would say that the Bible, which is the Septuagint, the one that the apostles held to, is the one that is the true Bible. Right. But the apostles, when they were spreading the gospel, which is, by the way, the oral gospel before it was written way later.
Get your point.
The Septuagint is the Bible that the church held to, which Protestant.
The Septuagint.
The Septuagint is the Old Testament. I'm not talking about the New Testament. That's a strong.
Where do you find out about Jesus? You don't find out.
You find out about Jesus in the Old Testament.
No,
actually,
you don't. You find out Jesus in the New Testament.
Jesus was prophesied in the Old Testament, just like the book of Isaiah 53, Psalm 21.
You don't answer my question. You're gonna have to get on to the next. I'm gonna have to get on to the next.
I'm answering your question.
No,
you're asking
for the point.
The Old Testament.
You have an agenda. Fine. Tell me what your agenda is. What do you want me to believe?
The Old Testament, many times.
Stop evading my question.
It's not evading the question.
Yes,
it's prophesying about Christ in the Old Testament. Because when you see that in I think it's either First or Second Timothy, I can't remember.
So yeah, Cliffe gets a little bit mad at the end of that clip. And I think I have a right to talk about this since I am a Christian, I am a Catholic, I subscribe to the deuterocanonical books, and yeah, so I think I should be able to weigh in here. And what I will say first and foremost, I know that there's a lot of Orthodox and Catholic people going crazy like they usually do on Cliffe. I first want to say, I am not one of those people. I don't think that we should be hating on Cliffe, calling Cliffe a heretic, getting mad at Cliffe. Because Cliffe's mission is to bring people to Jesus. He teaches the basics very well. He's been impactful for my faith. Cliffe helped me find Jesus. So I'm not bashing Cliffe. I think he's amazing. I think the work him and Stuart do is great. So I condemn anybody who's insulting Cliffe. Now, of course, anybody who disagrees with him and explains why, I got no problem with that. But the people who are bashing him and calling him a heretic need to cool down. Point number 2 I'll make about this clip is what is Cliffe's mission and what is his purpose at this event? This event isn't a theological conference. Cliffe isn't taking theological questions. He is there probably at a college campus teaching Jesus and talking about Jesus to people who probably haven't heard of Jesus or who are new Christians. So Cliffe most likely doesn't want to answer a question like this or debate a topic like this in front of people who are beginners, who haven't really heard about the gospel or Jesus. And whether you like it or not, this stuff isn't very important. It isn't something we should talk about with crowds of people who aren't Christians, who don't understand it. In many cases, it can scare them off, especially when there's arguments about it. So I think this question was very poorly timed, and I think Cliffe's reaction is valid. This is not the time or place to be asking a question like this. And I know what some people are saying. They're saying, but Drew, Cliffe never takes questions from Orthodox Christians. He never takes questions from Catholics. He always gets very angry at them. And to an extent, that's kind of true. But you have to understand Cliffe's perspective. He is trying to bring people to Christ. He's not worried about the denominations. That's the next step. He's just worried about whether or not people have faith in Jesus. So when he's at an event like this, he doesn't want to talk about the Eucharist, the biblical canon. He doesn't want to talk about denominational issues. Instead, he wants to talk about Jesus. Who is he? Should we put our faith in him? Should we put our trust in him? That is what Cliffe's concerned with. So I support Cliffe. I support what he did, and I think we can all learn something from Cliffe as Catholics and Orthodox Christians, because many of us care a lot about theology. We care about checking the theological boxes. And in many cases, we treat our faith more like a pop quiz than an actual relationship and living faith. So I think we should take a play out of Cliffe's book. Let's try living out our faith. Let's try being actionable with our faith. Let's try to introduce people to Jesus. I think Cliffe does a great job at that, and I think we need to do more of that. But what do you guys think about this whole situation? Comment down below.